Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church, and I'm coming to you today, the last day that I'll be speaking in December, the last day actually of the year, because when I come to you next time, it'll be January 2024. Wow, that's amazing. But these last 2 weeks, as I finish up this year, have been about gifts. And it's Christmas time, so we know about gifts. And these are gifts that are given. And the last one I want to talk about is the gift of faith. Now, 1 Corinthians 12, chapter 9, talks about being given the gift of great faith. And that's different than just regular, everyday, ordinary faith. Some people are given the gift of great faith, others, not so much. So I want to finish up this series talking about the gift of faith. Now, before I get started in the scriptures, I just want to say this. All of us have faith in something. It's not like we don't know what faith is. When I walk over there to that wall and flip the switch on for the lights to come on, I have faith that they will work. In fact, I'm surprised if they don't. When I sit in my car and I push the button to start it, I have faith that it's going to start. Because if it doesn't, I'm kind of lost. You and I have faith every day in all kinds of things. We may not recognize it. We may not apply it to the things of God, but we could. So let's look at Hebrews chapter 11, verses 1 and 2. Faith shows the reality of what we hope for. It is the evidence of things we cannot see. Through their faith, the people in the days of old earned a good reputation. Faith is the reality of what we hope for. It's the evidence of things unseen. Now, like I said, you exhibit faith in your life. The other day, Faith and I went out to eat. I wanted something specific, knew where to go and get it, and I ordered it. It never occurred to me that they'd send me something else. I was looking forward to eating it. And sure enough, my faith was rewarded, and in a very few minutes there sat in front of me a plate of what I was hoping to eat. And you've done the same thing. You go to bed at night expecting to wake up in the morning. You don't have any evidence that that's going to happen, but you just expect it. You live by it. You plan by it. I look at my calendar, what I'm going to do the rest of this week and next week, and then even into January, February, March. And I expect to be around to do that. That's faith. It's living in a reality that I cannot see. And God gives us faith to live. Not just those little kinds of things, but faith to live in the midst of troubles and difficulties and bad situations. Faith to acknowledge that God is in charge. Now, when I had my health problems in 2021, and I woke up in the intensive care unit, which it wasn't on the planned agenda that I knew about, I remember I could see just a small little strip of the ceiling. I had tubes everywhere. Turns out my hands were tied so I wouldn't fool with the tubes and whatnot. And I sat there and I thought, where am I? And I thought, well, they must have transferred me somewhere. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. I'm already in the biggest medical center of the state. Where would they transfer me to? I must still be where I started out. But I didn't know that. Nurse came in, and uh, I tried to mouth what I wanted. That didn't work, so she got me a piece of paper and asked me to write it down. I couldn't even get through the W before she said, "Oh, I can't make any sense out of that. I'm sorry." But I had faith that I was where I was supposed to be. And I had faith that somebody besides me knew what was going on. At the same time, which I did not know, a whole bunch of people were having a prayer meeting for me. I'm glad they did. You see, when we're asked to pray for someone, we are exhibiting our gift of faith. We are saying, God, we don't see what's happening here, but we're going to trust you. A lot of people today don't trust God. With all the politics involved and all of the things said, I don't blame them. The kind of God that's being depicted in the news and in those kinds of groups is not the God of the New Testament. It doesn't have anything to do with that. I mean, Jesus wouldn't even recognize it, though they claim to be following him. They're not following him, they're following something else. So I understand why people are skeptic about religion and Christianity in particular. And if you're listening to me today and you have some troubles, well, that's okay. A lot of people in Jesus' day had troubles believing. Some of his disciples even had troubles believing, even right up to the very end of his earthly life. But God wants us to know it is through faith that we can trust. It's the evidence of things that are not seen. And I like the way the word uses that. It's the evidence of things we cannot see. Evidence points to facts, unchangeable things that are absolutes. Evidence that God is at work. Now, as I'm making this devotional, I can see out the window in front of me, and I see evidence of God at work. The sunshine, the trees, the beauty of the day. I even see the stable that we set up in front of the church as evidence of what God did so many years ago. And I hope in your life today, whether you normally look for God or whether you don't, that you'll take a few moments and open your eyes and open your hearts and look for evidence that God is still around. That's called faith, folks. And you and I have been given that by God. Well, you think about it. Thanks so much for listening and putting up with me over this last year. We'll see what happens in the coming one. But I wish you a really, really, really great and fantastic coming new year. God bless you. If you have a need or a concern that we can help with, please let us know. We'll do whatever we can as fast as we can to help meet your need. Take care of yourself. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you again.